Hello?
Hey, Dave.
Yeah,
Hey, what's up, man? We got Dave and Dave, so I'll call you call for zero during this conversation. But thanks for ringing in, and I'd love to get your thoughts about last night.
yeah, it's good to see you guys and everybody in chat's a good gang here tonight. Yeah, I saw it live, and I would say generally it went a little better than expected because of the stresses that are designed into it, and it's hard enough when people are neutral
Hmm.
and they talk on a topic that is as edgy and is life altering as Mandela effect, but I think it went okay. And it kind of made me think back to when I first realized it and the choice you have to make to like, okay, I see the changes. Obviously, there's changes, and then you process it, and then you move on, or you completely reject it and go, hey, uh, I just can't handle it, or I reject it for whatever reason. So yeah, it was an interesting interview.
Cool, cool. What else did you want to get into? What did you want to ring in about?
No, I just wanted to say that, for instance, on the Hass avocados, I know there was a lot of resistance on that, but if you look at it, even geographically, any state from Texas to even Northern California, that whole New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, all that are very, very familiar with Hass avocados, way into Mexico because a great deal of them come from Mexico. And I know that at least half the people in attendance there listening to your presentation realized it.
Yep.
And the question is, can they take, say, 15 or 16 out of 20 that they were fighting to reject and no, I don't, it had to be, copyright or different, patents and things, and just like say, okay, but how about these three or four
Yeah.
that are solid, the
Yep.
Dolly's braces and different things. Um, so we'll just see how it goes. But like you said, not too long ago, the seed's been planted. And for those that are going to do it and realize it, and it's a little stressful for a few days. I mean, all of us have been through that. You'll find that when you kind of come out of it and you see the plane, with new eyes and even the whole system in general, and how the alterations and the deceptions and things like that, you're going to find you're much more prepared to deal with life in general.
Yep.
Like all the things that come with you at you, the deceptions, you're going to be more aware. It's not saying you're not going to be friendly because you're going to actually learn to be friendly because you analyze it back to the creator and you build on it from there. And then for me, when I think of creator, I think of energy. Same with Jesus, Christ energy.
Yep.
And I communicate with source, with the creator, and that's important. And it's easy. Even if you partially believe in the Bible, there's a verse that says pray always. Okay, you read that and you go, okay, it says pray always, and you think, well, okay, that's not possible, but maybe it is if you're just open to communication with the creator. It's not even a job or a task or a stress. You just have to be in that mindset.
Yep. Yep. It was interesting last night for sure, but it's some good words that you have there, especially if there's anybody new watching, Because again, even if you think you've written off, most of what I presented for one reason or another, there's at least a few that you're really sure of, and you're thinking that, okay, Brian made a mistake when he presented this, and there must have been a point when this changed to this. I ask you, please go and look. Go and look for
Yeah.
when that company changed name or whatever it is, and you're gonna find that there is no history of that. It's always been what it is in this reality now. And the Mandela effect, I know some of you people we see very different on a lot of other topics. Some of you guys look at people like us as crazy, and these people are quote unquote tinfoil hatters, and conspiracy theorists and okay, well, we can put all that aside for this conversation because we're not talking about a conspiracy at all, in my opinion. You know, not at all. We're talking about another aspect of this realm, the metaphysical aspect, whatever you want to call it, and it's you know, it's an investigation that needs to be had, and you should trust yourself and know your memory is not that shit. People get put in jail over people's memories. And the idea that you want to relate it to what you had for lunch 3 days ago or where you put your car keys, that's all nonsense. We're talking about things we have anchor memories tied to, things we've had repetition through our lives over and over and over again. It's a much different situation than that. But on top of that, it's not just that. When you reach out to other people like we do on these channels, you come to find that they have the same exact memory of these things that have never existed. And it's not on 100%, but a very, very, very high percentage of things. Right down the line with no variations, just like last night when I asked MC Toon what animal lies with the lamb, without hesitation, he said the lion. Well, he's not the only one. You saw the rabbis we just showed. We've shown pastors and preachers everywhere. I've shown every truther you could imagine. I go on the street and film people. I walked up to Jehovah Witnesses like a week or two ago and filmed them with spy glasses on. They told me the lion. I go to preachers on Huntington Beach. Other people are doing the same thing. It's not just you. You're not an idiot, and your memory's not failing you. Could it be possible that you just don't understand what reality is? And that's why I tried to ask him about science, and that wasn't really the best way to go at him. But if you do believe that science is, ultimately mainstream science is on your side, and they want to tell you what this reality is, could it be possible that maybe they just haven't figured out this aspect of it yet? It doesn't mean that you should just ignore it and write off your experiences. Do a real investigation. Think for yourself for once. Think outside the box. It's okay. It's okay to have your own thoughts.
Right. And I guess I could say in defense of Toon and how he reacted to some of the examples, I think when you said lion and lamb and he agreed, I think if I'm not mistaken, he said, well, yeah, but you hear it in movies or on TV or because you and I and people in chat, we all know that when something big hits us, it's going to take maybe an hour or more to even just digest it. And him being on live camera in front of like 480 people, mostly his people and his sub base, it's very understandable. He would say, wow, that's really interesting. I'm sure
he had no idea. He had no fucking idea what he was in for, of course, and I knew that. Once I saw the thumbnail with the Berenstein Bears on it.
Right, but I do understand his energy, and I think all in all there was more smiles than I expected on both sides, so I'm really happy about that. And I am here with my son, and I'm baking bread right now, but I'm going to add one more thing, especially for the new people that are in chat. One example that didn't come up last night is Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah,
if you remember, he was behind bars, standing in the middle of a cell, and Clarice came up to meet him for the first time, and she was standing in front of the cell, and Hannibal Lecter said, "Hello, Clarice," and that's like how they interacted. And if you look at it now, and if you check the examples on the internet, you'll find one example where somebody actually was able to digitally recreate that.
Yeah.
But the other, like 24 examples you find, he says, "Good morning."
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a whole different vibe.
He doesn't say Clarice at all.
No.
So, I mean, things are changing, and at this point, I'll just say, I wish everybody well. I'm sending good energy, and thank you, Brian and Dave, for your energy on the internet. We appreciate it. Bye for now, everybody.
All right. And Dave, somebody just tried to call. I'm going to call them back as well.
So, some of these are that get me are so blatant that it makes what the change makes the whole thing not make any sense. For instance, he was mentioning Dolly with the braces.
Yeah.
The whole thing about that scene was the fact that when she smiled and Jaws saw that she had metal teeth too, that made them both compatible. And that's why they fell in love. Otherwise, the scene actually makes zero sense whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Even with the passage in the Bible, it says putting new wine into old skins, else the seams will burst. Well, that makes sense because wine seasons with the skins.
Yeah.
And bottles makes absolutely zero sense. I mean, you can store piss in bottles. It doesn't matter, and it's not going to matter. So the whole analogy, the whole parable doesn't make any sense by changing it to bottles, or by Dolly not having braces any longer makes the scene no longer relevant. I mean, it's, what is that? See, that's what made it. And I remember that so bad because I went to the theater to see it with my dad, my little brother, myself, and my dad. And when she smiled and Jaws fell in love and they played that romantic music, my dad says, "Oh, you got to be shitting me." And he looked right at me.